We've got more Stanley Cup playoff action on tap for tonight. We've got some Game 2s and some Game 1s, and the game that we care about for this video is Dallas versus Vegas Game 1. And earlier this morning, it was officially revealed. Everybody knew this was coming. We knew. Y'all ain't slick with this. I'm sorry, Las Vegas. Or do you not like to be called that? Okay, not Las Vegas, just Vegas. Golden Knights. This is exactly what we all expected would have happened. Nobody is surprised to see this, but just because nobody is surprised to see it does not make it any less funny. Take a look at this quote heading into Game 1 against the Dallas Stars. Mark Stone, Golden Knights captain, says, "I'm going to play tonight." And this is not surprising, because Mark Stone in February was out for the remainder of the season with a lacerated spleen. And everybody was saying, oh yeah, no, this is like really bad. He could never play again. This may be the injury that maybe puts Mark Stone on the shelf forever. He has the chance to die here. And while I don't disagree that a lacerated spleen is a serious issue, like he had to get treatment, of course, there's no way he would have been able to play through that. But when it comes to the timing, this is where everybody has a field day, because Cap Friendly went out there and tweeted this out earlier this morning too. Here are Mark Stone's transactions on the last 3 seasons worth of play. So going back to 2022, 2023, 2024, Mark Stone on February 14th, 2022 was placed on the LTIR for Vegas. On April 12th, 2022, he was activated from the LTIR. On February 11th, 2023, he was placed on the IR. On February 20th, 2023, so just a week later, he was placed on the LTIR, and again on April 18th, 2023, he was activated from the LTIR. And then, this season, on February 22nd, 2024, Mark Stone was placed on the IR. On March 4th, 2024, he was placed on the LTIR, and then on April 22nd, 2024, today, he was activated from the LTIR. Mark Stone has done this every single year, and you know what? I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, he's intentionally getting hurt, he's not actually hurt, he's pretending to be hurt. I'm not saying that he's, like, healthy the entire time. But I think everybody kind of acknowledges at this point that there is some sort of a procedure that NHL teams can and usually do that allows these players to be on the shelf for a very specified amount of time. Not specified to the amount of time that they need to recover, but specified to the amount of time that the NHL team would benefit the most from. Here's a comment made by Knights GM Kelly McCrimmon in regards to Vegas's reputation as salary cap skirters. I don't know if maybe the fans or the media understand the degree to which these injuries are scrutinized, essentially calling out fans and other people in the hockey world for criticizing the injuries that take place, which is an interesting idea. Oh yeah, the fans are criticizing the injury. I don't know if it's necessarily that. It's more like the procedure. And what we usually see is painfully obvious every year, but with that in mind, there's an excerpt from the article from The Athletic. For now, other GMs around the NHL have told The Athletic they have no issues with how Vegas is conducting their business. Which I'm not going to say is, like, surprising, considering the fact that every NHL GM probably knows about how the LTIR works and the loopholes, so to say, that you can exploit if you want to use this LTIR system to your advantage. It's just Vegas is, like, the only team that does it consistently. It's Vegas and Tampa Bay pretty much. And with this in mind, while NHL GMs may have themselves no problems with the way this entire thing has gone down, Frank Seravalli certainly does. He said that this is precision timing that would make Rolex jealous. The consistent timing of Mark Stone being placed on the LTIR and activated at the beginning of the playoffs, placed on the LTIR before the deadline, activated before Game 1. Seravalli also was on the Daily Face-Off live show earlier this morning, and he went out there and said this: the NHL, I think they've got a serious competitive integrity issue with Mark Stone coming back to play. And those are some really harsh words. The video where he says it will be linked in the description if you want to listen to the entire comment. He essentially says that with the timing of everything, and I think this is an opinion that a lot of people secretly hold but haven't really thought too much about, because Mark Stone is available to play today, he probably could have been available to play last week. And maybe even a little bit before that. This, you could say, probably was the case for the past few seasons. Mark Stone is always available to play on Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, but never, ever a moment beforehand. And it's easy to get away with that once. Oh yeah, maybe he is ready to play, but the Vegas Golden Knights are not going to admit that. They're still going to treat him as if he's not able to play at all, and then once Game 1 of the playoffs comes, that's when they're going to really push and say, yeah, can you play? And then he plays, and then he's like, yeah, okay, he was fine. You can get away with that for 1 year, maybe 2 years, but 3 years in a row? 2022, 2023, 2024, every single time it happens exactly the same way? Let alone the fact that it's Mark Stone in particular that's always getting hurt. Like, obviously, it's not like he's putting himself in the position to get hurt. He didn't lacerate his own spleen. But it's so funny how everything always aligns like that. Seravalli said if he plays today, he could have played last week. But the Vegas Golden Knights wouldn't allow that to happen because they couldn't. They would have been well over the salary cap if they did that. And with this in mind, let's go over onto one more conversation to end off this video. Emily Kaplan tweeted this out. The expectation around the NHL is that Mark Stone plays for Vegas tonight, yet again activated off the LTIR just in time for Game 1 of the playoffs. I talked to several players and front office executives about it. While jokes can fly about cap circumvention, everyone agrees nothing can or will change until the next collective bargaining agreement. And then there is a reply saying, why would a player intentionally miss 26 games? And the first reply is to get $9.5 million in additional cap space for your team heading into the postseason. And we saw the exact same thing happen with Nikita Kucherov a few years ago. Everybody knows Kucherov is really good, but that one season where he had 0 games played and 0 points, only to come back healthy Game 1 of the playoffs and absolutely go on a tear, that was a super beneficial move where it was like, yeah, if Nikita Kucherov was playing as well as he was in Game 1 of the playoffs that year, he probably, if you really forced him to, he probably could have played in the last few games of the regular season and probably would have been okay. NHL teams are so used to this process now of modifying and laying out a player's recovery path and executing it so perfectly that these guys are never available to play at the end of the regular season. It's only at the beginning of the playoffs. Now, to Mark Stone's credit, there was a conversation on this Emily Kaplan tweet saying, hey, this is the world's fastest recovery from a lacerated spleen. And then there's another reply from Statboy Steven. Stone was placed on the IR 60 days ago. That's 8.5 weeks. What is the expected recovery time with a lacerated spleen? And another reply says 12 weeks in the max end, 3 on the extremely quick end. So lacerated spleen has the option to recover from a lot sooner than what Mark Stone did. Also has the option of recovering a lot later than Mark Stone did. But again, as we had said, it's perfect. It's right in line with what we thought was going to happen. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. And now, if Mark Stone goes out there and gets 2 points, and he's a defensive beast, and Tomas Hertl scores a goal, and Anthony Mantha comes down and scores a goal, then it's Vegas LTIR City, baby. This is what we expected. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Mark Stone playing in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. He is cleared to action. This is the 3rd year in a row, and you had Frank Seravalli call out the Vegas Golden Knights for this moment. Thoughts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.